Welcome to the live stream Straight Off the Bat. Join us on Thursdays as we speak to individuals across multiple industries who will help you understand financial literacy and education. If you're joining us from YouTube, thank you so much. Don't forget to like and follow our page to continue seeing content that'll help you manage your money. I'm your host, Pauline Joseph, and today we're discussing banking safely with digital payments at Republic Bank Limited. Our guest today is Damian Cooper. He is the marketing manager and personal segments at Republic Bank Limited. He also has over 27 years of experience in the marketing field, which is weird because he doesn't look like it. You'll see what I mean afterwards. He's also a football enthusiast and has his own football academy, Cooper's Coaching Academy in Aranguez, which caters to boys and girls ages 4 to 21. So let's welcome Damian, yay, from Republic Bank. Are you seeing us? Are you there, Damian? Because, are you hearing
Hi,
me?
morning.
There we go.
I am seeing you. You see me?
Okay. Yes.
Yes, I am. Are you hearing me?
Awesome. I think there's a bit of a delay, but we're going to get right to it. So we want to talk about digital banking solutions because we're in a space now where as much as we...
Yes, so, Pauline, are you?
All right. So it seems that we may have a bit of a delay from Damian. So you're going to go on a quick break and we'll be right back.
Pauline, are you hearing and seeing me now?
Oh, we are back.
Are you hearing me?
Thank you so much. Yes, I am. Can you hear me?
Yeah, but it's a bit distorted. So even when you were giving your introduction, I was hearing you very distorted. Are you hearing me clearly?
I am. I actually am hearing you very clearly.
Okay, seems to be sticking a bit.
Yeah, and there seems to be a delay as well, actually, in this. So, is it that you want to do a bit of a refresher and come back? Because in order for us to have a flow of discussion, it's sort of disconnected. So maybe, are you on Chrome? Are you on your phone?
Yes, I'm on my phone.
Okay, cool. All right, so I believe you're hearing me better now because you just responded to me. So we want to get into it and let's try this again and take two.
Okay, that's fine.
All right, so we did the introduction. We spoke about what this topic is about, but we want to talk about digital banking solutions in the context of Republic Bank and what it means for customers. So I want to start off with what is digital banking solutions for someone who may, just be like, what, I want to hold on to my cash. What does that even mean, digital banking solutions?
Right. So digital banking solutions basically means using digital channels to conduct banking transactions as opposed to actually going into a brick and mortar space or a branch to conduct a transaction. Right. So with digital banking, we have a number of options that are available to customers, which vary from online banking to mobile banking and what we consider to be the newest kid on the block in terms of our digital products, our Encash product, right? So with digital banking, you basically could stay from where you are and conduct transactions, whether it's a bill payment or whether it's a transfer to someone else's account. You can do banking from wherever you are and whenever you want.
Thank you for that, because sometimes I think we take for granted that everybody knows what everything means, and we want to be able to start from the basic and let folks out there understand why they need to end cash
Right,
in this digital world that we're living in. So let's
right,
talk about the shift of behavior, because I think it's important for us to, first of all, start where people are, which is the comfort level of going into a bank and, wanting to see your cash, or you just got your payment after 2 weeks and you got your salary and you want to be able to see it, spend your money and move on, versus the ability to deposit that check and to be able to see that money on your phone, because we are in a state where we are connected to our phones, where it's become a third arm. So when it comes to banking solutions, can you talk a little bit more about the shift that you've seen, because you've been in the industry for so long, of the traditional way of managing your money and what we're asking people to do now, which is mobile banking?
right. So, Pauline, I think I'd want to take it from a generational cohort perspective, right? So that may give a better idea in terms of behavior and behavior changes and what we need to do as a bank to get persons who may not naturally be inclined to use digital channels or digital solutions to get them to start using it, right? So if you take it from a generational cohort perspective, the generational cohorts can be divided into 4 or 5 main generational cohorts, right? So we call them the silents, which would be the older ones. We have the baby boomers, which would be possibly from age 60 and above, or let's say 58 to 60 and above. Then you have the Gen Xers, and then you have your Gen Ys, commonly referred to as your millennials, and then you have the Gen Zs. So the Gen Zs would be persons under 22 years, right? So the Gen Zs and the younger millennials, they are what you call, to an extent, digital natives, meaning they were basically born when lots of things started to go digital or had already gone digital. So it's not difficult for them to actually adopt digital solutions or digital channels for banking. When you look at the younger millennials, possibly the 25 to 35, they are also very much familiar with using digital channels, whether it's for banking or for doing things such as ordering stuff online. So in terms of trying to get those customers or that customer segment or those customer segments to actually adopt digital channel solutions for banking, it's not difficult. And when we look and when we analyze our customer base, we will actually see that the greatest uptick is the ones for the Gen Zs and the younger Gen Ys. So the challenge primarily is the older Gen Ys, the Gen Xs, and the silents, right? So what we are always aware of is it takes a while to create behavior change. So what we try to do as much as possible with persons who are not naturally oriented towards digital channels, especially for banking, we try to educate them as much as possible from the perspective of the convenience, the safety, the security, the speed, and almost kind of walk through with them what are some of the advantages of banking digitally as opposed to going into the branch and actually doing a transaction. And we're not even talking about the traffic that you actually have to now experience before you get into the branch, right? So what we have seen is we have seen that the older generational cohorts, they take or they are taking a bit longer to actually adopt the channels but slowly they are getting more towards using the channels. And I'll tell you why too. Remember, banking is not in isolation. So everything that they do, it would be, or a lot of what they do, they would have some digital elements to it. So to order stuff online, of course, you require a credit card. You have to do transactions that are considered to be digital transactions or online transactions. So as the world actually goes in a particular direction, they also don't want to be left behind. So we have more of the older customers, the older generational cohorts, actually reaching out to us and asking for assistance in terms of how do I understand these products more? And what we try to do, as I mentioned, is we try to educate them, we try to incentivize them, and we try to work with them so that they too can, in effect, experience the benefits of digital or online banking or using digital channels.
So thank you for that, Damon. Let's discuss what kind of opportunities there are for the older generation. We're talking like my mom, for instance, she learned how to sew via YouTube. So the capacity to learn is always there. But in terms of
Right.
what Republic Bank is doing, can you share a little bit about that in terms of knowledge sharing with the folks who may find it a little difficult to navigate online?
Right. So, Pauline, what we do, we try to use a number of channels to reach them, right? Now, we also have to be aware that we have to use channels that they consume naturally, right? So while we, for example, may say we could reach them via emails, there may be a certain percentage that would not open their emails, right? Or do not look at their emails frequently. So we use a combination of methods in terms of first reaching them and then educating them. So we know they like to come into the bank. Quite a bit of them like to come into the bank. So we use our, what we call our digital advertising in branch, which basically is the TV screens, the use of the TV screens. And we would have information concerning our online banking, our mobile banking, our Encash, where they could actually get more information or be prompted to ask like a CSR for additional information so that they can get more information. So what we're trying to do is reach them where they are, right? So in branch represents a real opportunity for us to actually to talk to them because that's where they are. So if we start with a digital channel to try to reach them, we may not reach them because it simply means they may not open it. That being said, there's a certain percentage of the older generation that will in fact use emails and use emails quite a lot. Not only emails, they would also use things like WhatsApp and SMS. So what we try to do is we try to integrate all the channels and how we use the channels. So there is no campaign, whether it's an educational campaign or incentive-based campaign that we do and we use only one channel. So in branches one, we would also use emails to reach them. And we would also invite them when they go into the branch to possibly go to the website because the website presents the greatest opportunity for us to explain in detail how to use our products. On our website, you could get things like demos, there are product features, and there are links to YouTube videos that would allow these persons to get more information and see how to actually use the digital products. So it's a combination of one, channels we use, and a combination of initiatives, whether it's an educational campaign or it's an incentive-based campaign to get them being part of the discussion, part of the narrative, with the ultimate objective being for them to adopt these services and benefit significantly from it.
Thanks for that, Damien. You're not the first guest on this Shade of the Bat show to mention folks wanting to actually go into the bank, which is such an interesting perspective. I don't know if you have any thoughts on that, but I want you to hold on that. We're going to go on a quick break and we'll be right back.
Okay.
Good morning and welcome to the live series Straight Off the Bat. Join us on Thursdays as we speak to individuals across multiple industries who will help you understand financial literacy and education. If you join us from LinkedIn, thank you so much. I want to shout out to Carol King, Maya John, and I think we have Ade Ennis King. Your comments have shown up for some reason. But thank you so much, guys, for joining us today. We really appreciate it. I'm your host, Pauline Joseph, and we're discussing banking safely with digital payments at Republic Bank Limited. We're joined by Damian Cooper. He is the marketing manager, personal segments at Republic Bank. We want to bring him in because he has over 27 years of experience and doesn't look that like I don't know what fountain he's drinking from, but we're gonna learn a lot from him today. So, Damien, when it comes to this idea of having the desire to physically go to a bank, there's all these steps before you actually get to the bank, and then you actually have to go in a line. So, can you talk about the benefits of shifting online and some of the things that we have to go through? That I feel like a lot of the times change is just one of those things that's so hard. So you're not necessarily understanding the benefits. So maybe share some of that with our audience when it comes to shifting online. Okay, so are you hearing me, Damien?
Yeah, that's correct. I mean, like, I think what happens now, Pauline. Okay, I'm hearing you. Are you hearing me?
Yeah.
Okay, so let me know if you're still hearing me. Yeah, okay, you are. All right. Yeah, I mean, like, change is difficult, right? If you're accustomed to doing something and there's no real reason for you to change, then you continue to do it. So we may say here, what there is a real reason to change because when you come into the bank, you actually have to go through all the traffic. You have to possibly wait in line. You have to deal with persons that you possibly may not want to deal with who are in the line, not in the bank, right? Who are in the line. And we may say that here, what there are a lot of benefits to doing online banking. And I mean, like, it's a no-brainer as to why these people shouldn't change, right? But to a lot of people, going into the bank represents a number of things, especially for the older generational cohort. It represents an opportunity to be out. It represents an opportunity to interact and socialize with persons, right? I know some customers who actually look forward to going to the bank at least once a month so that they could have that conversation with their CSR, they could have that conversation with the persons in the line, etc. And it gives them something additional to do, right? And then there's also the issue of trust. So the issue of trust is I will actually take the 2 hours in traffic, take the half an hour in the line, and I am willing to go through this because I want to see that when I deposit my money into my bank account, I can actually see it checked and deposited and I get a slip for it, right? So while to us, it may be a no-brainer, I think to a lot of persons, going to a physical location represents something more, whether it's going to the bank, going to the grocery, etc. Because we may say as well, why do people go to the grocery when they could actually have it delivered to them? But some people like to go to the grocery. I like going to the grocery, right? I don't think it's fun ordering groceries online to have it delivered. So if you were to actually take things that we like to do that may not be from a digital perspective and we superimpose that into the customers who come into the branch, it may represent something to them that is intangible that we can't really put a value on, at least a value on to them, right? So there will always be that percentage of persons who think like this and who, for whatever reason, prefer to come into the branch. And our job, our duty is to make sure that we give them options, that we educate them, and at the end of the day, we allow them to make the decision that is in their best interest, right? We could only do so much in terms of leading them in a particular direction. And I must say, we have been pretty successful because when we look at our numbers in terms of percentage of customers who now have our online banking channels, it has been growing significantly over the years, right? I remember at one point in time, it was really low. And there were frequent discussions as to how do we get these persons to see the benefit so that they can, in fact, adopt the channel and start using mobile banking or online banking, right? So we have actually seen the shift. The shift is taking place much faster now than in the beginning. And as I said, a lot of it is a result of not only banking going digital, but so many things that they do are now going digital. So there's almost no option than to adapt and to adopt some of the new channels that we have.
Well, congratulations, Republic Bank, for the efforts in educating. I want to shift over the conversation a little bit now to the younger generation. So you have, solutions like the Right Start account, Right Start team. Would a parent watching this be able to say, okay, let's talk about finances, opening a bank account, but also let's incorporate online banking?
So there are some restrictions, of course, in terms of persons under the age of 18 using the online banking facility. So that is something that we have to be very careful about in terms of who has access to it. So you need to be legal to have access to the online banking facility. If, for example, a parent has an account or opens an account for one of their kids and the kid is in fact under 18, then the responsibility, because the accounts would be linked, right? So in my personal example, it's an example. So my kids have accounts with us, RS-10 accounts, with us meaning Republic Bank, but they don't have access to Republic Online or Republic Mobile, right? I would be the one to have responsibility for using the online banking facility to transfer funds into their account or to make payments from their account, etc. Right? So it doesn't extend to minors, and for good reason, in terms of the legality of it. But there is that option for the parent to do some transactions on behalf of the child using the online banking or mobile banking facility.
That's some good information to learn about. So in the same context of being a parent, a lot of times parents also don't know about digital banking. So what advice do you
Right.
have for someone watching this to be like, okay, I want to be able to work with my kid on this, but I too need some education.
Right. So I mean, like in terms of getting information, the information is relatively simple to get from the perspective of all you need to do is go onto our website, republictt.com, and you could get information concerning all our online banking products. Right. So you could get information on online banking, on mobile banking, as well as our Encash digital wallet. And what is nice about it is that we have demos that accompany the information. So you could actually click a link and get information via the demo. So my advice to them would be the starting point could be the website. Go to the website, republictt.com. Get as much information as you need. And if you still need more information, then you could contact us at Republic Bank, and we would be more than willing to provide you with additional information.
Great. And, I mentioned earlier in the intro that you have a coaching academy and, being able to manage kids. And I guess you're seeing it from two different angles as well, being in the industry for 27 years. What is it that you would say in terms of suggestions when it comes to starting the conversation about financial literacy and education with children?
Right. So the first thing is to start it very early, right? And I think one of the things that we often speak about as bankers and also as parents is the fact that we don't teach our kids enough about financial literacy, and we don't do it early enough. So we have kids coming out of secondary school, not knowing anything about financials, about banking, about investing, etc. So my advice would be from a very early age, and I have kids ranging at different ages, right? So I have one in primary school, and I also have one in college, right? And I mean, like in primary school, they are exposed to some basic concepts in terms of money, etc. Right? That will be an opportune time for parents to start teaching them more about money and more about banking and investing, so that as they get older, they have things in place from a very early age. Because I mean, like when I look back in terms of some of the things that could have been done differently from my generation and even the generation just under me, I would say definitely financial education, teaching the kids about financial instruments, how to go about saving, how to go about investing, how to go about creating wealth. I think that's something that that was missing and needs to start at a very early age.
So, and I definitely agree with that because I wish I had it earlier. A lot of things I've learned on this show, straight off the bat, has been instrumental in terms of learning how to manage your money. But when it comes to things like, you have the facilities of the Right Start account and being able to give your children a card, let's talk about that in terms of online transactions. Where does one start, and how old should you be before you get let's say a Visa debit card?
Right. So we have the Right Start and we have the RS Teen. Right. So the Right Start will start from birth, basically, and the RS Teen, as the name implies, starts from 13. Right. So what accompanies those accounts would be a debit card. So my kids, I have two RS Teen and one Right Start account, and they have their debit card. And to a large extent, it's for the parents to actually manage. Now, the good thing, and this is how we actually integrate the online banking, the digital banking, with, let's say, the physical world, and also with managing responsibility and creating responsible individuals, right? So because I have their accounts registered on my online banking platform, I could transfer money into their account as I see fit or as needed. And because they have a card, they could then manage how much money they actually spend, how much money they withdraw at any one point in time, right? Of course, to some extent, depending on the age, with the supervision of the parent. So it's ideal from the perspective of at a very young age, right? So my son, he is in standard 5 now. He would have gotten his card in standard 3, and he would use his card. So he would be able to go to the ATM to make withdrawals under my supervision. He would be able to go to the merchant and make a purchase under my supervision. So it allows individuals to start getting into the experience of doing banking transactions from a very early age. And once there's proper supervision and once there's proper monitoring of what is done and when it's done, then I think it's ideal. And it therefore means that we're pushing this generation a little further ahead, a little earlier, because they now have access to things that possibly we never had access to.
Definitely agree. I wish I had that, not just the access, but someone telling me, because then I wouldn't have been in so much debt in my 20s. But we live and we learn, and here we are. So, with this conversation around mobile banking, we definitely have to talk about security, things like passwords and being able to have authentication on your phone. So, we're going to talk about that right after the break.
Okay.
welcome back to Straight Off the Bat, a show that helps you understand financial literacy and education. Thank you so much for joining us today. If you're doing so from Facebook, thanks again. Don't forget to subscribe to our page to continue seeing content that will help you manage your money. Today, we're discussing banking safely with digital payments at Republic Bank Limited. We are joined by Damian Cooper. He is the marketing manager, personal segments at Republic Bank, and we're going to bring him in. We would have discussed earlier, kind of what it means to have digital banking solutions, the age groups that we fall in. I think I'm millennial, but that's, who knows, it might change tomorrow. And then we also discussed what it's like to be a parent and managing money and sharing that discussion with your kids. So if you missed any of that discussion, not to worry. After this live is over, you can hit replay. So, Damien, with over 20 years of experience, we want to talk about security because that word has changed over the last few decades. Because security back in the day meant a safe, for instance. It meant be able to lock your doors. But in the traditional sense, that shift now to let's have a ring camera, let's have some sort of security feature that allows you to see what's happening around your house with your phone. So in the context of banking, what does that look like, and what are some of the top three major pitfalls you've seen when it comes to managing your money and the security of it online? All right. So technology, as we're talking about it, was like, no, girl, we're not going to talk about you today. So we're going to go on a quick break, and we want to ensure that Damien is able to hear us and see us. So we'll be back in a jiffy.
Pauline, are you hearing me?
Yes, we are hearing you now. Thank you.
Pauline, are you hearing me?
Welcome back. Yes.
Oh, what a morning. So, yeah, apparently my connection keeps dropping.
Yeah, we have a bit of a delay
But
as well.
but you are hearing me now, right?
Yes, we are. There's a bit of a delay, so you may have shared, the secret to life, and we missed that very important piece of information. So just before you dropped off, we were asking about security. Do you remember the question?
I did.
Okay, so let's go.
Yeah. So the whole issue of security and basically what we are doing to ensure customers' safety and security as it relates to digital platforms. Am I correct?
Yep, that's it.
Right. Okay. So I will try as much as possible to stay away from the technical issues associated with security, right? For a couple of reasons. I think that is best answered by our experts in our IT department, but also it could be difficult to understand if you're a non-technical person, right? So I'll take it from a very high level in terms of security and what we are doing to ensure that customers' information and when they're using the online channels, it's as safe as possible. So basically, I mean, like we would adopt a number of initiatives or safety measures to ensure that customers' information is as safe as possible. So let me just talk a little bit about the technical aspect of it, right? Meaning that in terms of our network security, we always ensure that we have the highest level of network security in terms of server security, software security, that it's at the highest level. But from an individual customer perspective, what we do is we ensure that we have a number of ways that the customer could protect themselves. And the first one and the basic one is use of a username and a password, right? And what we always try to tell our customers, please don't share your username, if not your username, your password with anyone, right? Because this is basically your gateway or your access to your information. So that is critical. Something that we also have is two-factor authentication, whereby upon registering or entering your password to a particular platform, we also have to verify that you are the person that actually entered the platform. So really trying to break it down to like real basic layman terms, right? So if, for example, I'm going on to my online banking account and I would put in my username, I'll put in my password, and then they will also ask me to verify that I am the person who is actually putting in the information. And I use two-factor authentication in the form of a message sent to my mobile bank, to my mobile banking account on my phone, right? So when I'm entering it, I would put sync with mobile and I will get a notice and I have to verify that I am the person who is actually doing that. So if, for example, someone was trying to get into my account and they entered a password and let us say for some reason they got in, then they would have to actually authenticate that they are the person by responding to a message that they got on the mobile via the mobile banking app. So if they don't have my device, then they cannot in fact authenticate that they are the person, that they are me basically, right? So that is another way that we have it. We also have a lot of what we do from a digital perspective being PIN-based as well. So if I'm to talk a little bit about Encash, and I know we didn't talk a lot about Encash. If I'm to talk about Encash, Encash is username based, it's password based, but when you are about to do another transaction in terms of loading your wallet of an amount over a certain amount, at an amount over a certain amount, you also have to put in a PIN, right? So as much as possible, what we try to do is ensure that we have enough layers of security to keep customers' information as secure and as safe as possible, right? So that is what we would want to say is a kind of preventative measure. Let us assume that here what? Something happens with either your debit card or your credit card. We have something called Republic Alerts, which is a really, really important feature. It's a really strong safety feature because it allows you to see what is happening with your card at any point in time. So if you do a transaction using your debit card or your credit card or an online banking transaction, you get an alert. And you get an alert via email. And it says, it asks you a question. It shows you what transaction was just done. And it asks you, okay, is this you? Did you do the correction? If not, contact the call center to take some action, right? So it actually helped me about a year ago when I was at office and I was doing my work and I got an alert and I saw a transaction on my credit card in Thailand, right? So I mean, like I kind of back a bit and I said, well, okay, I know I am not in Thailand. I know there's no place in Trinidad called Thailand. I know we have a Brazil and we have a California next to Cuba, right? But there's no place in Trinidad called Thailand, so that can't be me. So immediately I called the call center, and what they did is they verified that yes, a transaction was attempted. Luckily, it was for a small amount, and what I had to do was immediately block my card and discontinue my card. That was an option. And I discontinued my card, and in 2 days, I was reissued a new card with a new number. Right? So the security operates from a number of perspectives. It operates from what we call preventative. So if you look at the use of the platforms, you talk about network security, server security, software security. If you look at the point of identify or discovering fraudulent transactions, you have your public alerts, and you also have things like emails that can be sent to customers and SMS messages verifying that transactions were in fact done by the user.
And I think you are correct. I don't recall any place in Trinidad called Thailand, and I've written many, many places around Trinidad.
So yes, agreed.
And thank you so much for not getting too technical, because this is not a technical conversation. That's a lot of
Right.
times
Yeah.
we tend to want to use words that not necessarily all of us will understand, and I am that person to be like, wait, don't understand that. So thanks a lot for that. I want to shout out to Nikisha, shouting out. She said great info. And yes, Nigel, you can definitely see this video again on the replay, because you said you missed the first part of it. So thanks for joining us today. So, sharing the insight into these features that are available in the online space, someone watching this to be like, I don't understand all of this. I don't want to get involved. What would you say to that person?
Okay. So what I would say is at least try and orient yourself to the offerings and to the channels, because only in doing that you can make an informed decision as to whether you wish to adopt the products and services or not. Right? From a convenience perspective, I mean, like hands down, online banking and mobile banking, they give you convenience, they give you safety, they give you flexibility. And I just want to come back to a point you made, Pauline, in terms of your phone. We all walk around with our phone, right? Our phone is always like about 5 feet, 10 feet away from us maximum. When we're in the bedroom, it's on the dressing table. When we're in the kitchen, it's on the kitchen counter. When we're in the car, it's with us. When we're in office, it's with us. So basically, we use our phone for everything. Why not use your phone to do banking as well? And I mean, like, you have the opportunity to do your banking whenever, meaning you could do it, of course, outside banking hours of 8 to 2 or 8 to 5 on a Friday. You could do it in the evening, you could do it in the morning, you could do it in the middle of the day. You have that convenience of banking anytime. You have the convenience of banking anywhere, right? You could do it at home, you could do it in the office, you could do it in the gym if you so choose. I mean, like, there are a number of times that I remember here where there's a bill I needed to pay, and the deadline date was that same day. And because my phone is with me, simply enter my username, my password, do my two-factor authentication, and actually pay the bill on time. No traffic, no waiting in line. Convenience of banking anywhere, anytime. So I would like to encourage persons who are a bit skeptical to take a closer look at it, because you could be saving a lot of time in your personal life in terms of not having to face the traffic, not having to stand up in line, and then not having to wait to actually complete the transaction. So I would definitely like to encourage them to take a look. As they say, you may like it.
Well, there's only one way to find out is to try, right? So I
Correct.
think that's a great place for us to end this session today. Thank you so much, Mark, for joining us as you shared insight into banking safely with digital payments at Republic Bank. Don't forget to sign up to be notified about the next live show via the links in the comments. No matter where you're watching this, it's in the comment section, either there, or there, somewhere. As always, be sure to like and follow our page so you don't miss a single live show. Thank you so much for joining us today. Bye.